Hello guys. Today I'll be doing a review of the previous week and then do an outlook for the coming week. So from what we had last week, which was from 27th July till the 1st of July. From, yeah, from the 27th of July to the 1st of July. So I'll be doing a quick breakdown on what we had. So from last week's video, I said I wanted to see price break above this high. I kind of explained why I wanted price to do that. Um, yeah, and that was actually my TP for this particular trade down here. So when on Monday, we didn't really have much. I didn't really trade much. Honestly, I didn't really do much trading on Monday. On Monday, we had like this slight pullback during New York session. As during London session, which was here, during London session, so the price kind of pushed up, and at the start of New York, price pushed down below the London low, which was here. Price kind of like swept below the low, which was somewhere down here. Yeah, this was London's low. And then price continued up to take out this high, which is something we wanted to see based on what we had from the upper week. So on Tuesday we had this surprise action here where this was like so when we broke this structure, right? Let me go back to the form. So on the far, remember from the daily time frame, from the structure and other flow on the daily, we had like this slight break of structure. I remember I said that the only confirmed trend or structure on the daily was actually a bearish structure, because now this, because we can even say that price is kind of ranging um between this low and this high. So you can say that price is kind of ranging because the only confirmed structure is bearish, but we have like this minor break of structure here. Structure here. Trading within this and this. So the only time you can say that we are bullish is when maybe price pushes up to break this high, therefore confirming this low here to be our higher low, because because this low will be like higher than previous low. So that's only when price pushes up and breaks it, we can say okay, we are bullish, so we can confidently take longs from maybe supply zones, sorry, demand zones. Then anytime price comes back down to them to continue the bullish structure. But for now, we'll just focus on what the market is doing at the moment. So we had this break of structure here, and we said the only time we like confidently take longs from here, maybe to take, uh, sorry, see, the only time we can confidently take longs from here is when we get that um higher high, higher low confirmation. So here on daily, we are still expecting price to maybe take out this low. Like something that could happen. Which was this. Yeah. So this like high and this like, yeah, arrange. So here on the daily, I have like this shifts in order flow here. And let me use the forward structure. Price action of this is not really that clear. So we had this high here from what we had on the floor. This was like uh 4 hour structure. That's when we had this break of structure here. So this was like low, and this is our high. So anything that happens within here is like um, it's just internal to this low and high here. But then we started having like this demand price like creating demand ranges and respecting it. As the moment price broke this, we now had this to be our new demand range from here to here. And then price broke above this demand range again. So we now had this one here, then this low to be our new demand range. So until price breaks this low, that's the only time we can continue, maybe just looking for buys. But the moment we start seeing a break of this low, we can say that supply is back in control and seeing the daily structure, the confirmed daily structure is bearish. We would want to take trades in the direction of this, of the daily structure. So when we had this break here, and remember um, these are low here and these are high as based on the 4 hour structure. But so like on the 4 hour, you can still say that we are kind of bullish structure on the 4 hour, but bearish order flow because now we have um price breaking supply ranges, sorry, demand ranges and respecting supply ranges. So we can say that we are kind of bullish, very, but based on the daily time frame, we can maybe just take sales. And if we have buying opportunity from what the market presents going into next week, we can look to take both buys and sell whichever one that is visible. So when we had this break here, so yeah, when price broke above this high, and when we had these shifts here, so this was like our new range, our new demand range. This is like our new demand range. So normally, since demand was in control somewhere around here, normally we expect price to maybe pull back into the demand range and then continue the um the bullish order flow that's respecting the demand ranges that was created. But that didn't happen. We saw a break of the demand range, indicating that supply was in control. And this break came from a mitigation of this supply zone here. I think we had this on the previous analysis. So this, I think, yeah, we had a reaction from this zone. So price just like continue the bearish order flow and structure that it had on daily and respecting this supply range here. So on I think on 29th, I think that was the Wednesday, price broke below this low here, this lows break here. So we had a break here and we had also had this break here. That was on the, yeah, on the 29th New York session. So we had this break here. So now from, remember I said this was our last demand range. This zone here, that's from here to here, was our last demand range. So the moment price broke this low, we want to look out for our last area of supply, like what caused this demand to fail. Because this was, I think price was reacting to something within this extreme week down here, but I won't really get into that. So this is like our last area of supply before supply took control. So it's very important to note our last area, that's our last supply zones before a break of structure or maybe before a break in demand. The same thing for our last demand zone before a break in supply. So this was the zone. And if price needed to pull back, this is maybe like one of the zones price will pull back to before continuing down. We also had this extreme engulfed candle here. Really much. So going down to the 15 minutes. So here on Tuesday, yeah, on Tuesday. So when I saw price reacting to this supply zone here, just sorry right here. So I was thinking to myself, maybe now remember the 15M structure and order flow was bearish throughout this push up here. It was bullish throughout this push up here. So for us to take a sell, we need to like see both the bearish structure and bearish. So we need to see, yeah, we need to see bearish structure and bearish order flow come into the market, thereby breaking bullish structure and bullish order flow. So yeah, on Tuesday, on Monday we reacted to this pullback, and then on Tuesday price was kind of reacting to this um supply zone here, and I was thinking to myself, if price is really going to like continue down, because it's really something I wanted to see. If price is really going to like continue down, it needs to like break this low and just break everything within here. So Monday price reacted to the supply zone here, and we had a push up into this supply here. The supply didn't really break anything. That was the main reason why I didn't take a trade from like directly from here. I waited for like some confirmations. So because this supply here didn't really break it, I was only taking like a reaction to it. And here, this red zone here is like the Asian session. So I was thinking to myself, maybe this is one of those days where during the London session price kind of pushes up into a supply zone, that's during London Open, and breaking above the Asian high, which was here. This was the Asian high to mitigate a supply zone above the Asian session, and maybe come down later to take the Asian low. So I've seen it happen a lot. And it's kind of one of the things I trade, like I normally base some of my tradings around that. So when I saw the reaction to this supply here, like we are like this aggressive push down, like this candle kind of anchor this one. So I wanted to see some confirmation before even taking any sales or any trade from this zone, because it was kind of really counter trend, because everything is bullish, like on Tuesday everything was still bullish here, like everything was still bullish. So I just need to see some confirmations to just take a short trade. So in the 5 minutes, it's very clear on the 1 minute. In the 5 minutes, so on the this was our last bit of bullish structure. Yes, when we start mapping out structure from the left, or maybe from here, we are like a bullish structure here. We had this push down here, so price kind of put this high here, push down, above this high again and then push down. So when we do structure in the market, we normally just expect price to just continue the bullish structure until price decides to break it. So whenever we won't really say, when we won't really plan on taking sales from up here and then say, and because this is a supply zone, price should break its current bullish structure. Sometimes price will do it, but we don't want to start predicting that. So we need to like see everything like coming. Let me say we want to like take sales from maybe from our higher time frame analysis. We want to take sales. We need to see both we need to see lower time frame structure and other field come into alignment with the higher time frame structure and other field, so we can take the trade. So we had this push there. Hence, normally we expect price to continue up. So you can even maybe look for longs from all these demand zones here. You can look to take buy trades here. So so when we had this break of structure down here, price break structure here, and then we started pulling back. Price kind of pulled back bullishly, to be very honest. Like I think it's very small, but we had like a shift in market structure, price breaking the structure, and then started having all this bullish pullback, but it's just kind of minor. I think it's minor something. So when I saw, I think my entry was a little bit aggressive. So when I saw this break here, because to me, this was like maybe it's a 5 second something. So to me, this was like my last pullback before the push up. So I was considering this to be my last demand zone, the zone here. So when price broke it, I felt confident setting a limit at the extreme supply here. I think this is an inside bar. So I just set the limits here with stop loss above the zone, and price was reacting off of this buy to sell week. So when I got the change of price here, I took the trade even, and if you notice, you see the pullback itself was kind of bullish, like price kind of pulled back bullish. So I just like, because this is the extreme, I just set the limits at the extreme. That was the first trade. So the second trade here, yeah, when I had this, I think this was around almost getting to New York session. Just the same thing. I had the change of character here from this high, from here to the high. I had like this push down, push up, price kind of reacts to this, maybe let's say this demand zone, and then we finally break it. So this to me is my last area of supply before the break of this demand zone, this particular zone here. That was my last area of supply before this breaking. So I think I felt confident taking a trade for it with my stop loss above the zone. So and that was it. And I was looking to mainly partial out majority of the trade below this Asian low, and that's exactly what I did. Just like let the rest run to this low here. No, I mainly partial mainly like almost everything here. And I just let like 10% run here. So I think that was Monday. Wednesday, I don't really think I took a trade on Wednesday. Yeah, I didn't take any trade on Wednesday. I didn't take any trade on Wednesday because the price action on Wednesday wasn't really clear to me. Like I wasn't really sure what the market wanted to do, so I didn't really do anything. Just like I was just watching it. Then on Thursday, yeah, took another buy on Thursday. So I had this supply zone. I think that's a flower. Sorry, flower demand zone. So yeah, this candle here. Flower demand zone. So on the 15 minute, if you look at the structure here on the 15 minute, normally we expect price to, let me say price is like kind of pulling back here and price in a push phase. Remember, whenever price is, let me say we have like a pullback and then this is like the push phase breaking this low. Whenever price breaks low, normally we want to see price pull back into maybe the supply zone here or here before continuing down. So that was basically the main reason why I took this buy because I was saying to myself, if this is like a break of 15 minute structure here and this is the push phase, at some point price needs to pull back. So and another thing was that I was thinking, okay, since if you look closely, um, so if you look closely, see that this was like our Asian high here, our Asian high, and this was like our Asian low here. London session opens up, we have Iran on Asian high to mitigate this supply zone up here. And so when we had this news, so these are Asian. So London's when London session opened up, we had a run above the Asian high here and price mitigated the supply zone here and continued down. So this to me, I wasn't really looking at this as a run on liquidity. We did actually like get a run. That's when price came down here with this week to take out this low, push back up into this supply zone and then continued down. I was kind of looking at it from a structural standpoint, not based on liquidity. I was looking at this as a break of structure here when we had this body close here. So I was saying to myself, at some point, price will need to pull back. Price will need to pull back down. Like the price can just continue going down. At some point to like pull back before continuing. So the moment I saw this 15-minute change of character, which was here, which is what we have here, like a 15-minute change of character to me, the moment this week came above this. So I was saying if price pulls back down into anything within here, I'll look for a confirmation trade on the 1 minute and then take the buy. So on the 1 minute, so so on the 1 minute, that's 15 minutes on the 1 minute, the 15 change of character we had here is actually like 1 minute reconstruction. So we have like 1 minute reconstruction here. So when price pulls back down into this, price pulled back down into this supply zone here. Sorry, into this demand zone here. I didn't really feel comfortable taking the trade like from down here. So I wanted to see price create um demand zones and respect them. Then I can just take a trade from maybe the next demand zone, that's wherever the demand zone before. So that was what I was thinking. So when I had this was like my last, so this low here, like my last supply, because when price pushed up here, price pushed down, making this our new supply range. So the moment price broke this, remember price is hard to mitigate this before it gained the momentum to break above this high. So I felt comfortable and I felt confident to take a trade from maybe the next supply zone that will form. So the moment this zone was formed, so we had like this zone, and then I had this engulfed candle down. So this was like our new demand range. So when price pushed down into the zone, that was when I took the trade and my stop loss was below this. And looking at the 4 hour, from the 4 hour, I wanted to see price pull back into this last area of supply before continuing down. So I think that was the main reason why I was targeting this whole range like this. These are whole 4 hour last area of supply before the break. So I wanted to see price pull back into this zone because I had like this refined one, but since the two candles are engulfed, that was the reason why I used the whole zone. So and yeah, yeah, this is where I partial out most of my trade above this high because they are kind of relatively equal. Yeah, they are really, yeah, oh, they are almost equal high. So I partial out most of the trade here and just let a few percentage to run into this 4H supply zone. On Friday, I didn't do any trading on Friday, so there was nothing to talk about. So going into next week, which is that will be July 4th to July 9th or 10th. Yeah, yeah. So I want to see price on the based on the 4 hour, based on the 4 hour, price haven't really broken below this low. Price haven't really broken below this low. I even say that price is kind of building liquidity to like maybe break low and just continue down. These are daily low. Here we have like this relatively colors. And price just building some kind of liquidity. So I don't really want to focus too much into what will happen next week, but based on what we have here, based on what we have this, we have like a new supply range here. So a new supply range has been created here. So these are new supply range because price was taking this low. So maybe we want to see price mitigate this zone here, or maybe something like the extreme, like anything at the extreme to continue down. Like we just want to see price respect the supply zone that was created. But if price doesn't respect the supply zone like this, if price doesn't respect this newly formed supply range, which is from here to here, to this line, if price doesn't really respect it, we can, that's if we happen to like get a break above this, you can just look for, you can just follow the 15 minute structure and order flow. But for Tuesday, Wednesday, I want to see price just mitigate it. Like I want to see price respect it, but if price doesn't do that, I'll just focus on what price will be doing next week. So I think that's actually all for USD. About pound USD. So this pair, I haven't really been trading this pair for some time, but I just marked them up. Pound USD daily time frame. So here on the daily time frame, we have bearish structure, like everything is just bearish. So we just keep following the trend. There's no point trying to look for buys, or there really no point trying to pick bottoms here. Just focus on following the trend. So we had this break construction here. We have a break construction here. So price is kind of in that pullback phase. And now I think price wants to like continue the trend. We should be breaking this low based on what we have, what we have here. So here on the 4 hour, after price pushed down here, after we had like this push here, which broke this low. Yeah, so after we had this push here, when price started pulling back, started creating bullish order flow, like we started having bullish order flow as price was pulling back. So for us to take trades, for us to take sales from, sorry, for us to take sales from maybe up here or here, we need to see like bearish order flow and structure. Like we need to see everything align with that of the daily, because on the daily we clearly have bearish structure, bearish order flow. But on the 4 hour here, on the 4 hour, like studying the market from this, from like here, studying the market from here, you can see that we have bullish structure, bullish order flow, something like this. So, but I think that was last week. We had like this shift in order flow when price broke this low. But this like a pullback. And when we have a pullback, normally when price pulls back, we want to see price break above the newly formed high. But price doesn't do that. We only have a pullback. Price tries to really take this high, but there wasn't really much momentum to push the price high. So we have the pullback and the like the shift in order flow to me. So when we had this break, this body close here, so it's like our body close. That's why we have a shift in structure, shift in market structure. So we just study what price did last week. So here, this was before we had this shift in market structure. Before price completed the shift in market structure, which is something like this. Before price broke and closed below this low, this was our last supply range. So we can see that these were the momentum that were used to break above this low. I think these were it kicked in. So that's essentially one of the major places we want to look for trades. That's maybe on the 15 minutes or 1 minute. So price. So after we have the break off, we have this shift in order flow here. Price kind of pushes back into this last area of supply, respects the last area of supply, and then forms a new supply range. So since Now on the floor we can see that the current structure and order flow here is kind of aligned with that of the daily. We can confidently take sales from maybe this supply range here or the one we have at the extreme here, because since supply is kind of in control at the moment, we want to take trades in the direction of we want to take trade in direction of the trend. That's since we have supply in country, we want to like take trades from supply zones. So this supply range. So we just want to see price respect this range. Want to see price respect this range and then continue down to take out this low and maybe eventually take out this low here. So that will be how we want it. 15 minutes. So this is like our last area of supply here in the 15 minutes. So since these are range on the 4 hour as this high and this low is arranged, this like the pullback phase. So the only time we can confidently take sales from any of this supply range, say this one or this one or anything within here, like anything within here. The only time we can take sales is when we see, because now if you look at, if you study the structure here, like study the way price pulled back on the 15 minute, we have like that 15 shift in order flow. Price kind of pulls back, creating new demand ranges. We have another push here, pulls back, creates another demand range. So we want to see, because now if on the 4 hour we have price respecting, creating and respecting supply ranges, but on the 15 minutes, what we have is price creating and respecting demand ranges. So we want to see the price action on 15 minutes align with that of the 4 hours. We need to see price break this, let's say this supply, so this is our demand range. We want to see price react to this demand range and then maybe break the demand range. That's the only time we can maybe conveniently take sales from this last, if this is our last area of supply. Since now sub 15 minute structure, order flow and everything is aligned with that of the 4 hour. So you can now take sales whenever price comes back into the supply zone or maybe into the S1 to continue the overall trend. So that will be how we look at it. So since this pullback here is still bullish, is kind of bullish because it's just price just creating demand zones and respecting them. We need to see price break the demand zone and then start respecting supply zones for us to take the sell in that direction. So I think that will be all for pound USD. Going over to gold. Yeah, I haven't really but I just keep looking at it most of the time. So from I think there was this analysis I did on gold. Said I wanted to see price take out this low. I think that was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, yeah, price kind of sweeps below the, but I wanted to see price close below this low here. If I got yeah, I wanted to see price close below this low. I don't know why price just kind of I don't know why price only swept it, but it's really close below. So for our here, So here on the 4 hour, we have supply ranges, sorry, we have demand ranges being created and respected. And demand range. So, so this is like our last area of demand. Once this low goes, we are sure be sure that this low will also be taken out. So price just kind of starts creating some kind of internal structure, internal range within here, but this is where the range was broken. You should see this is where supply took control of demand. So if you were actually trading, you could have taken a trade from here. Price didn't really get back to it, but here or maybe from this imbalance, but this is something I'll be looking at. And maybe, yeah, I think since I didn't trade it, I don't really know whether I would have marked out this to be one of my zones. But I don't do stuff like this, like marking out POIs from imbalance. So yeah, I just have something like this. But so if you're active, maybe you're trading good, you could have maybe taken the trade from this and saying that this is our last area of supply before the break because this reaction. That's when price push down into this week here. When price push down into this week here, this is like the reaction we had and the push away from reaction before we had the break. So this was like our last range. So you could have just taken the trade from here, or maybe if you waited for this, you could have missed the trade, but that's besides the point. So here, following what we have here, you see price breaking demand ranges and respecting supply ranges. So we have another pullback here. Price pushes down, respects this, and price pushes down, breaks this one here. So we are kind of trading within this high and this low and this low here. So, so, so this like our range here, this low here, and this high. So normally, if we are to take any trade on gold from anywhere here, because the price action on gold is not really that clear, like it's not very clear. So if you are to take any trade from here or here, you need to that's within this trade. I think it should be sales. That's if we are even to take a trade. But the way price formed here, I think like I don't like the price action here. Like it's just too choppy. Because if you were really bearish on this gold, if you were really bearish, I'm going to see like price making really fast moves like this one, like in the direction of the trend, like we are like this aggressive push down. This should be like maybe up and maybe then another aggressive push down, but like price really move aggressively. So, but following what the price action we have, we might look to look for sales from anywhere within. Maybe I even say this week. Yeah, say this week. Yeah, I need to take sales here or here. Like anything within this whole range here. Like anything within here, can use take sales there. But until price breaks this high, you should just focus on taking sales honestly. Like until this high goes. Because I think if this high goes, most of this high here, and this one, they'll probably also go. And maybe price might just want to come back to mitigate this. Like, you never know. Yeah, some price might just want to come back to mitigate this. So, but yeah, I think that's it for go. Yeah, just same thing as that of BandPSD. Since the pullback here is kind of bullish, why is great now expecting demand ranges here. Yeah. So the only time you can maybe even think of taking sales is when we start getting a break of demand ranges. I need to take the sales when the price goes back down into what caused the break and then continue the overall trend. So that's it, guys. I hope you all have a nice trading week. And yeah, that's it. So good luck, guys.